Across the internet, there is a growing trend of videos of women being harassed by other women, shouted at, bullied, intimidated, and subjected to violence. These videos are not skits, nor sensational releases of some sort. Sadly, they chronicle the lived experiences of some thousands of women in my country, Nigeria, for decades without end. What has got netizens querying has me worried. And if you're like me, you're probably asking the same questions too. Who are these women? And why are they being harassed, especially by other women?
Life at Uyoga.
A woman caught in adultery in Uyoga, Agwata local government area of Anambra State. The other accused of cruelty against her dead mother-in-law.
The woman that acts as a leveler in most communities, they are disruptive in their actions. Yeah, some of them also seem to be taking revenge.
It's like you are on your own. When they come, people cannot defend you. You'll be the one facing them.
Umuada, translating Daughters of the Land, is a premier pre-colonial, strictly female political body and a tool in the arsenal of women of a particular community tasked with maintaining peace and order. I saw a video on the internet. A woman went to fetch water, brought it, put it down. When she put the water down, then they were packing mud and pouring the water on her body and smashing on her body. And I asked, what's the offense? I asked a number of my friends on the internet who were from Southeast. And then they said, it's Umuada, she offended Umuada. What did she do? They said she didn't take care of her mother-in-law before the mother-in-law died, and that they have to appease the spirit of the mother-in-law so that the spirit of the mother-in-law would not come and be affecting her. I didn't understand that. Help me, please. Help me understand.
How is that their business?
But that's what I'm told.
I've heard some. I've not heard some of this.
They were smashing her the mud and the water, and they were speaking and saying all sort of things. So you could tell she was somewhat petrified, and they were smashing all those things on her. And then I was just asking, what is this? This is not my story, but I am careful to get to the roots of what this practice is, beyond the fact that I am being met with resistance and disappointments from many women who promised to help me understand Umuada. I'm also quickly faced by a seeming or an apparent awareness of danger. You don't want to offend Umuada. Melanie, do not offend them all. What does that even mean? A survey I conducted revealed that 8 out of every 10 people know about Umuada, and approximately 5 out of 10 have resolved issues by them. Also, almost 8 out of 10 people do not agree with enforcement methods and certain customs of the Umuada tradition.
The Umuadas have a rule. They have a set of rules, a set of regulations, which they are hell-bent on doing. For instance, in my village, if you are burying your father and you kill a cow, the bottom of the cow will be taken by Umuada. It is not written, but it is done. It is so. If you kill the cow, the Umuada will come and demand the bottom part of the cow, and so you must give us the bottom part of the cow. So if you don't do that, Umuada will come for you. Yes, if you give them one goat, for instance, in my village, you will give the Umuada a goat, a live goat, and the uku lama, that kind of thing. If you don't, they are not going nowhere. They will say that with you, or they go and even if you have buried their father, they will go and they try to excavate, exhume the body from wherever it is. Umuada will come for you, but you have to do what they say you should do. They are a very strong force. If as a woman you are becoming something, a disruptive element in the community, no matter will come for you. Even as a man, you become whatever, you don't subscribe to the rules of the community, no matter will come for you and say, who are you? Ibonye. That's the woman that acts as a leveler. in most communities. They are disruptive in their actions. Yeah, some of them also seem to be taking revenge over some things they didn't take. But Umuadas are needed in every community. Umuada is a social group that helps to energize, that helps to galvanize for development. Umuada also contributes to the development of wherever they come from.
Indeed, Umuada is a respected socio-political setup in Igbo land and is regarded as an important component of Igbo tradition and existence. This group of women was responsible for the maintenance of relative peace and order in pre-colonial Igbo land. Their existence stem from a religious traditional belief that presupposes that these women possess direct links with the earth goddess. And because of this belief, the Umuada are revered in Igbo land. Also, post-colonial era, Umuada are central to the popular Aba women riot led by Margaret Ekpo.
Umuada highest court, yeah, court to be fair.
What I asked Anya Janoka. Moka Pasana gets no noggin. I don't have one organizer and Candiala. And the mail to Moka to Palipante. I ganuzo. Money at the pastor, one react to the Senate. They go digging at you. I told you when I got a pastor. Pastor and when they leave an hour. Now let's see, baby, I called it. Kind of gonna choke colocata. And no, you go confuse them all to Wagi. I quite get a Gak, Maranatalaco. More gun or there. Who open with the pastor? Who open with the pastor? You can go to other. You will get any go to the William.
But should these reverence cause harm, especially to other women?
I didn't have any encounter with the women Umuada. I hear about them when I go home, like when my dad is on leave, when we go home, I see them treat women badly, I hear women shout and say they've been accused of adultery and Umuada have been given the responsibility to drive them home. In fact, my mom, was never in the village when we go home. Me and my junior sister, we normally follow my dad when he's on leave. So I didn't really know that my mom can also be a perpetrator, So they use them for Umuada, they use them for different things. They use them for some form of law and order. They also use them to victimize other women. And then when they carry out this victimization, I don't think that they realize, they just think that they are falling into what culture, cultural norm expects them to do.
That was Imoma, not her real name. The first woman who agreed to speak with me on camera. According to her, these women derive their powers from the patriarchal system of traditional rulership. I followed through with several survivors who had agreed to grant interviews even after sharing their gory experiences in the hands of Umuada with me. But they ended up refusing my cameras and gadgets. But one day, I found a Neka, not her real name. She chose to speak to me anonymously.
I wouldn't know where to start because it's not just one, it's not just twice, but the one that really got me pissed off at a point was during the death of my father. We had, serious issues because I didn't grow up in the East. I grew up here in Lagos. I grew up in Lagos. And during the death of my father, we were called by the so-called Umuada that was supposed to be there to support us in the burial of, because my father is equally, the Umuada thing is people that are related to you through your that's by your father, through your father, that's through your father's bloodline. These are people that are related to you. And when things like this happen, of course, you expect them to rally around you and support you and give you all the necessary support. But that was not the case in my own situation and that of my other siblings. We were asked to pay certain amount of money, not just a very huge amount of money before they come in for the burial. And in Igbo land,
was this?
This was in 2017.
And how much was this money?
Me personally, I was asked to pay over 500 and something thousand. My elder sister was asked to pay 400 and something thousand. In fact, we calculated it and there was about 1 something million. And what is the reasons? That we grew up in Lagos, that we never associate with them, that even if we come down to the east, that we don't even ask what they do, we don't even do this. Before I could just say 1, 2, 3, they've packed their things that they are leaving. And once they are not there for the burial cannot hold. They must be there for the burial to hold. So, we're forced to pay such amount. And even at the point that we try to have discussion with them to bring it down, bearing in mind that we've already made a lot of expenses for the burial, so they insisted that we must. These are the people that will ask you to pay such amount of money, and they expect you to feed them in the morning, in the night. They stayed in our house for 5 days, and you feed them in the night, you feed them in the morning, you feed them in the evening as well. So it was so outrageous and everything. And honestly, that's even one part of why I try to distance myself from them, though it's not to my own good or so, because it's wrong trying to keep yourself away from them.
Unending tales of lamentation, of taxations and cruelty.
From here, I will pay you money for Umuada. You cook food in my behalf, presented. You present it. Why? That's if we did not do it when my mother died, my sister, someone else, people like mine died after before my mother. My sister cooked 9 pots of food. 9 pots of food. To settle them. Remember, do not come from my sister.
Cooking 9
Say,
oh, madam will say this.
you don't to have this one die. You don't this one die. You have to cook for the 9. Before the next day, you not come again.
People like you have come to bury your mother like this. Hey, your mother will not come and ask us for the same amount. We don't have it though. Why did people do like this? Anything they say, because they are difficult. They are difficult. With everything that we need, they said the microphone. There's a standby musician, all these turntable people. We had to keep the boys because of the microphone for them to use to address us. The microphone stopped. They said we should pay 5,000. That I should put 5,000. I said, excuse me, you want us to scatter this burial? I should pay 5,000. I mean, they use the mic. I hired somebody to work. Can't it have fault? So my senior brother now came to her that you people, I've been keeping quiet. This girl has paid. That it's like you are on your own. When they come, people cannot defend you. You'll be the one facing them. They say, hey, what kind of university? Of course, again at university. She sent you to university. After that, also again at university. I should come and pay them. I should come and pay them the university money. So I'll go to university. Yeah, law. I marry. Say you go school again. I say, give me a PhD. Give me a PhD. Like, did you send me to school to know whether where did I do the PhD? From there, they say, look at the husband. Look at that giant there. My husband. I will pay for that.
Wait, you will pay for your husband being giant?
No, but of course I didn't. They're just looking for excuses that she's one of the first girls that they said.
I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to laugh, but there's no way I'm not laughing.
Those people, they will look for my junior sister. They drag that one because that one does not come home. They say, when was the last time you came to see your mother? You've not come to bury her, Abby? If I didn't say, go and bring the bonfita and the Milo you bought for her last month. What did you do for my...
Wait, explain. So what if she couldn't prove that she took care of her mother?
I was her protector. I paid fine for her. When my father died, they said to bring the medication that I bought. It was the last time I came home. I came on a Friday. I went home back on a Saturday. My father died the other Friday. They had to go inside, pack out blood tonic and things like that to bring. So on I like it, they die. Then my daddy used to rub dye. When was the last time I bought dye? Like they're looking for trouble.
For Imoma, it was double the tragedy when she later realized that her own mother was the perpetrator of this violence against other women.
After the burial, my mom now, started manifesting those things. When they hear that the woman had gone to have sex with another man, my mom would be one of the people who would, because she was like their village head kind of counselor.
Village head or
yes.
Umuada?
Umuada. Well, she was a member of Umuada, but she also occupies those local councillorship position in charge of women. So she had powers, and then she would ask them, go and bring the motor, but down the motor, okay, they would forcefully push this woman, inside the vehicle and return her to her parents. And then they would never, and I ask my mother when she comes, what about the man that she committed the adultery with? How come the man is still in the community? At times it's just young boys, they accuse them. At times I don't even know if they have evidence that this really happened, And then she was telling me that it's the culture, that's how I should keep quiet, that's how the culture expects women to be quiet and silent, So many things that they called culture, I didn't understand any of it.
Igbo women in Nigeria have had to endure this extreme side of the Umuada tradition for centuries, usually rearing its head during funerals, marriage ceremonies, or a perceived wrongdoing by a member. Their demands leave many in shock, some despair, and the women dare not even say no. Whether during a wedding rite where Umuada refused the size of bread being offered, questioning if their demands were received, or at a funeral where a deceased sister shares the posture and demands of Umuada. Or maybe a certain Umuada in Uyoga, Agwata local government area of Anambra State, refusing to shame and inflict pain on a woman caught in adultery, being chased back to our village of origin.
Now before her name do to her information, I got inform her say Hana dear. I may say her permit her there. I gave you good her, but oh good also not be
Imagine living with the fear and burden of being stigmatized, deserted, labeled, or even banished. This pain hits a little different, I'm told, by the daughters of the land who spoke to me, because the perpetrators are your mothers, your sisters, your cousins, your blood. Joel Nwokeoma, a titled man, a member of the ISIS cabinet of Azar community in Imo State. He challenged women to rise up and speak against the extreme practices of Umuada that inflict pain on them.
Those things they are not treating because they have been passed over the years, as uncodified conventions. What Umana does is, Umana can even ask, okay, we will take two tubers of yam, or we take 2 jars of wine and leave you. But Umada will not leave you. They will not leave you. Because theirs it is our right, and we are not going to allow you to damage our culture. So that's it. So people are under pressure to meet some of these demands. Because with the economic state now going south, people asking questions about why don't you moderate, why don't you modify, why don't you reduce some of these demands made on certain things, marriage, burial, and the living, in the society. So that's it. Who are the people doing this? Women. Women are the promoters of those malpractices. So if women are not doing well, women are not doing well to themselves. So why should women be used to advance things that do not promote the welfare of women? So the whole conversation should be around women talking to themselves and say, we should no longer be used to advance, to encourage practices that impugn on women's rights. And
Hope Nwakwesi, an Igbo woman and an Umuada, also the executive director of Almana Hope Foundation, a non-profit charged with protecting widows' rights, believes that change should begin with the law as enforced by the traditional rulers.
These cultural practices and the change should no longer be used for political propaganda. It should no longer be used for merchandise. It should no longer be used for grandiosity, philanthropic grandiosity. The action. Remember, let me give you an example of UKJ versus UKJ. In fact, you know the funny thing, I didn't know about it some 3-4 years ago. It took her 30 years there about lawyer. 30 years or so, 31 years to get that women should be allowed to bury their father's body. That's a widow that the husband died in Anambra State somewhere. And they went to the order to forget. She 30 years or more to now got EKJ versus EKJ. And 99.9% of people doesn't know about it. Therefore, if people doesn't know about something, they will work. So the truth is this: traditional rulers are the stakeholders. They are, you know, in those days, I remember growing up in my place. You wake up in the morning or very late at night, you'll be hearing go, pan criers. They use it that time to disseminate information. It was one of the things I put up in our 2017, 2018 widowhood war. Traditional rulers get up, begin to say, send people door to door. What if you have said it's no longer practicable? The same way, say it, take it to everybody's in their places. Give the town crier to say it.
This investigation has been a shocking realization that some violence against women can be perpetrated by other women. The women who spoke to me are survivors forced into silence, victimized and lied to by culture, and told to wear the badge of membership with pain and agony, naming their ordeal as just tradition. But many live on with scars and traumas that run deeper than the deeds of those moments. For others, justice was a reality too far from their reach. But an Nneka, who was brave enough to seek justice, was equally unwilling to share details with me for our own safety concerns. It is worth stating that the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law of Nigeria does not agree with this injustice.